Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong Creative. I wanted to show you my personal journal for January 2023. I think we all get in the mood to use different kinds of journals sometimes, and I have really been sort of enchanted lately with using rings because it's so easy to take pages out and add pages. This is my January journal, and I made this from one of the fun packs. I have 11 fun packs available. I have quite a few names, people who have asked for fun packs, but they're still not all taken. So after I do this video, I'm going to come right back and do a video with the fun pack and show you what's in the fun pack, and then, I will list it through PayPal. Anyway, the cover of my book, I used some old book covers. I had a set of Robert Louis Stevenson books that were truly falling apart. The spines were basically gone on these books, and I had quite a few of those. I had the whole set, I think. So I've sold some, I've used some covers. This is just a pretty image I put on the front, and then there is some very pretty netting underneath that's got the sparkles in it. I just got a package from my friend Mary, Tidbits from the Attic, and she's on YouTube, and oh my gosh, there were so many treasures in that package. I will be showing you the journal that she sent, the doll that she sent, and I'm going to be using, she sent so many little bits and pieces of things that are ready to use, and even some larger pieces that I want to show you. But this fabric is very pretty, and I just put a piece of that under the card. I glued it. It kind of wanted to curl up. I put enough tacky glue to make its way through this fabric, and then I sat something really heavy on it overnight so that it would really stick, and it did. And then I made one of the wax seals on the front, and I love the way that turned out. So I decided for this month I wanted to have a lot of pockets, a lot of places to write. You can see in the very front here, I decided to try and make a little pencil pocket. So I took a Ziploc bag, folded it over to reinforce this part, and then just wrapped a piece of paper around it and sewed that in place. So I can open this. I've got 3 pens, a black, that's just from the Dollar Tree, but then I have a Sharpie calligraphy pen and one of the Sharpie gel pens. These write really good. They're fun to write with. And that one's red ink, which I don't use all the time, but I just had it handy. So I love this so far. I hope that I picked a sturdy enough bag that it's going to last. On the inside, there is a book plate, very pretty image of the little girl with the cat, and it looks like she's reading. Here's a sheet that I put together and printed out. It's printed on rag paper. It's very nice and heavy so that I can, maybe do some art along here. And around here, I may do some writing here. I don't have to read this to you all. I will probably put it on my website, but it's just talking about some thoughts that I had for the new year, staying focused, words and thoughts that are important to me. So I'll put a link to my blog where you can find that. And then that's a very pretty image. That's called Pretty Gypsy, and that is Federico Andreotti or something like that. I have that name on the printout. This piece of paper, I don't need to show that. That is a journal entry that I wrote at the beginning of the year, and I printed it out from my computer. That's why I wanted so many pockets on this. I'm doing a lot of planning this month. This is one of the pieces that Mary sent to me, already made and ready to go, but then I just glued a postcard on the back. That gives me a place to write, and it looks just so pretty sitting in here. A lot of my pages, I've put these cards in between because I love to stamp on these cards and then write on the other side. In a journal like this, you can add paper clips. You can add all sorts of notes, places where you can write. This is a stack of things from the fun kit that I haven't even used yet. There's a lot of really pretty wallpaper, and like this is wallpaper on each side. That is an image from a book page that came from a book about Degas and the dancers. Every pack has more of those book pages. One of the things I love about these pockets is being able to take a heavy piece of paper like part of a file folder and just slide it right in, and you still have this beautiful paper on the outside where you can decorate, you can glue things, you can make additional notes with Sharpies, you could add gesso and do artwork, but then you can write a journal writing in this on this paper and just slide it right back in. There's just a paper ruffle There's one of the tags that I've stamped on, and it's ready to write on the back. I'm going to make notes about appointments, things that I have upcoming, and just ideas for the channel. And every page is pretty much a pocket on the inside, and then on the outside I can do artwork. There's just a little vintage card. There were some letter cards. That's 1968, and it reminds me so much of the graphics along about that time when, you know, Sesame Street was first coming out, and then Schoolhouse Rock. That's the 70s illustrations are very unique, and this was almost when the 70s had arrived. So, and there's just more manila folders, pieces of manila folder that I can write on. And I will probably do more adding tabs. Well, I know I will. This journal is going to get worked on throughout the month as I add things. And I know here we are at the 10th, and I'm just now showing you this. I did have some things ready to put in here. That card still needs to be worked on. Here is another pretty pocket, and these little coin envelopes are so much fun to use to put images in. And I meant to write on here. Let me get a pen. This is the Common Buckeye. And then this is the Cloudless Sulfur. It's fun to do things like that. And this, of course, can have a private entry on it, and I can slide it right back inside the pocket and continue to work on the outside. These are bits and pieces of things from the fun pack. Wallpaper, these fun sample cards, beautiful scrapbook paper. On these, I decided to make the pocket at the top and then just add a binder clip so that I can slide notes up in here and kind of keep them out of the way. And I can continue to add embellishments and do artwork. This paper was so beautiful. I definitely wanted to be able to see each side. So that's why I did that the way it is. We have another little card here. This one is just full of pockets and places to put things. There's another sweet piece of ephemera that Mary sent to me. There's a bright library card there. I put my name on it and stamped some butterflies. And then we have more stationery. Mary sent me this, by the way, and some of the other. And then I sewed an envelope onto this yet larger pocket. And there is a little place to write things down on. And then an even larger pocket in here. And once again, it's just so easy to slide something into that pocket that you can write on. I'm going to cut that down just a tiny bit. And I love using manila folder because it is beautiful stamped on. You can distress it. You know, it's heavy enough. You can write on it. It doesn't really go through to the other side. That's a piece of wallpaper, and then that's a piece of paper that came out of a sample pack that I had. And each one of the fun packs has one of those, and they're all different. So things like that are always one of a kind. So I just do the best I can to keep them as similar as I can. Everyone has a map page. Oh, I love this because it is a huge page, and I didn't want to cut it down because Moore County is the county that I grew up in, and I really wanted to keep this entire page so that I could read about the county that I grew up in. And then another card in between. I'm planning to stamp these once again and write things on them. There's a couple of things in here, another piece of manila folder, and then a piece of this beautiful heavy wallpaper. The wallpaper samples in these fun packs are really heavy and nice. Nature is a gentle guide, but not more sweet and gentle than prudent and just. So that's got a little quote on it. More stationery paper to write on, just a few little sheets there from a notepad. And there's a fun envelope, attached chemistry requisition here with gummed lab. So I don't really need to show you every single thing. Again, there's just pockets everywhere, little flip places, and it's so much fun to use the rings like this because you can just continue to add places to write. That's, you know, a piece of manila folder, and then we've got a tag sewn on top of that I will probably stamp and then write all around it. And I may add artwork to those. I love to art journal, actually, you know, diary journal, appointment keep, and then keep bits of ephemera, the whole 9 yards in my journals. This is a fun piece of scrapbook paper, and that's going to be, every pack has got one of those. Let's see, did I get that? And that, I think that one has a pocket. Yes, it does. So I'll need to add a very tall piece of paper in there to be able to journal on. And I could, you know, I could just take one of these book pages and use something like that. So let's just tear this down. And see, that can slide in because it is sort of a tall book page. And I could write on that with, you know, maybe some sort of permanent gel pen, maybe get some Sharpies. I could do artwork on that. Another little tag. Those luggage tags are so much fun. And, oh, these are fun. So that came from a particular type of file folder, and all the fun packs have those. There's a tiny little pocket there, you know, just the perfect place to add more ephemera that I might end up using throughout the month. And that will go back down in here. And one more tag. There's a large envelope, and again, you know, I can put things in here if I want to use, and I do want to use some of this vintage typed paper for collage work. You know, I could just fill this pocket up actually with a lot of the ephemera that I have left from this junk journal pack, the fun pack. And that's a little too big, so I won't try to put that in. And we won't just overload it. There's no need in that. But I just wanted to show you, this is the reason, and I love rusty paper clips. That's the reason I've kind of chosen the style for this journal this month. And you can see I've got very large book rings. A couple of pieces of manila folder. This is part of the paper sample that I had, and those pages were staggered. So I left them that way when I punched them so that we keep that pretty look of all the paper. And then here's a pocket here at the very last. There's stationery in there that Mary sent to me. And Mary, I'm going to share a few of those pages with everybody. One thing I like about making pockets like this, you can come back after you've sewn it together and just make a little dip on one side, and it makes it a lot easier to put the stuff in and out of that. And then there's the last page. This piece of fabric is just glued on the inside. I use tacky glue, and I've never had trouble with that, you know, really sticking good enough. It does a good job. And what was I going to do? On this very last page, I want to go ahead and put my birdsong stamp, if I can get it to take. I hope so. And I'm just going to be adding more and more to this journal. But let's see. Oh goodness, that book's wanting to bend a little bit. There, that's good enough. So there is my January journal, and I will be back right away with the fun packs. Thank you for watching.